to go to our daughters.
Yeah.
Pretty sneaky, pretty sneaky.
Yes. Well, my daughter showed up, and then we had to go to my other daughter's place. So it's like, come on, let's go. And I'm like, I haven't.
Done the Shavasana yet.
Yeah. She said, I don't care.
Well, actually, I'm glad you mentioned that, Davina, because on Saturday we may or we may not be there. There's a possibility that Stephen and Meredith are coming for breakfast. If they come and they leave early, we're on. If they come and they're not gone, we may not be on. Or if they come and it's later and we're Shavasana, we might be doing the same thing. So we're not sure. If you don't see us, that's what's happening.
Yeah. Kids, eh?
We'll catch the recorded version anyway, Mark.
Yeah, we thoroughly enjoy that. We've actually added a recorded version to the week now.
Oh, good.
We've incorporated a Tuesday night.
The ones we've missed.
Yeah.
Oh my
That's
God.
cool.
Is
I
there
miss a lot.
anything you want to do tonight?
What are we on to do tonight?
Nothing.
I mean,
All right, so for me, because it's normally a yin class, we're just going to do about 72 chaturangas just for
No,
him.
no. I love the yin class.
and 100 downward dogs.
Actually,
Yeah.
I love the yin class.
I mean, I'm with you. I cannot believe how truly restorative it is. Like you've
Thursday.
always talked about that, and I'm so used to that flow of that whole yoga thing that when we get into that restorative. So now George says on a Tuesday night, are we doing a yin? Are we doing? I don't know, yin. it's nighttime, restorative.
Oh, that's funny.
I like it. I really do too. I love holding a pose. I didn't think I would, but I do.
Hey, Mark, did Marilyn talk about the fall yet? What's going to go happen?
So I wasn't able to make the call. She had the call last night, so she sent the link, but wasn't able to listen to it. So I think she's going to try to do a hybrid model. So I think actually Long Sioux is opening.
Wow.
So I think there'll be in-person classes. So, but I think she'll also be offering like an online module as well. So like you could do half and half. So
But she'll have to take attendance, I'm imagining.
yeah,
She won't be able to fit in the regular numbers.
Yeah.
yeah. So it'll be. So I have to listen to it and see what was said on it. But
We got guidance on again for seniors. We have in our centers at different locations, and we need to keep it 2 meters apart, the mats. And so what we usually would have accommodated up to 30, we end up maybe having 10 because the space, because you have to space 2 meters apart. So we absolutely have to incorporate a hybrid model that videotapes the session because we don't know if we'll be able to get everybody in. Plus, there's the whole washroom thing.
yeah.
Love you, man bun.
Did you see
Josh
Love
has got a
the
nice
man bun.
ponytail going.
This is my impression of Davina.
It's beautiful. Josh, it's beautiful.
It's very Pebbles-like.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Pebbles Finstone.
For Julia's ponytail like that.
That's good, Josh.
Oh, and there's Kitty.
Yeah. I hope he's not rambunctious tonight. He's like just something else today.
Is Jill joining us,
No,
guys?
she's not well.
No, she's not.
It's a migraine. But yeah, should we start? I think Josh is coming.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll mute ourselves
Can you turn
here.
it up louder?
But yeah, let's start in Shavasana. But I mean, you have to start in Chaturanga. But as we make our way into Shavasana, letting our body melt into the mats, and taking a deep inhale through our nose, and exhaling it all out. Taking a deep inhale through our nose, exhaling it all out. With every inhale and exhale, allowing your body to begin to settle. Allowing your mind to begin to calm.
Yes.
And taking this opportunity to let the day slow down. And taking a few moments to scan from the top of your head to the soles of your feet. And notice if anything might be a little bit tense. Anything might be a little bit sore or a little bit stiff. And sending your breath to those areas, letting your breath soften anything that might be a little tight or a little bit stiff. Allowing your breath to ease anything that might be tense. Letting your breath bring a little bit of relief to anything that might be sore. Letting your body find a little bit more rest. Taking note of any thoughts that might be rising up. Gently acknowledging them. Letting them continue to pass by. Drawing your attention back to your breath. Back to your inhales. And your exhales. And take a few moments to set an intention for the practice this evening. Something you wish to receive from the class. Then on the next inhale, slowly begin to wiggle your fingers. Gently move your toes. And then on the next inhale, begin to draw the soles of your feet together, coming into reclined butterfly. And maybe you draw your heels closer to your glutes for a deeper sensation in those hips, or softening them by drawing them away. And placing your right hand onto your abdomen and your left hand onto your heart. And noticing the rise and fall of your chest. With every inhale and exhale. And begin to deepen your next inhale. And lengthen your exhale. Deepening your inhale. Lengthening your exhale. Deepening that inhale. Lengthening the exhale. Letting those shoulders soften a little bit more. Removing any tension from your neck. Allowing gravity to open up those knees. Maybe notice if your mind has wandered or drifted away. Just drawing your attention back to your breath. Back to those deep inhales. And our exhales being a little bit longer than our inhales. And we'll take one more inhale here. And one more exhale. Then on the next inhale, slowly draw those hands underneath your knees, helping those knees up. And then drawing those knees into your chest and giving them a gentle squeeze. Gently rocking a little bit of side to side. A little bit of forward and backwards. Circling your knees in one direction. Circling your knees in the opposite direction. Then opening those arms up into a T and letting those knees gently fall to the right side, coming into a twist. Keeping your left shoulder blade pressed into the mat. Adjusting those knees, whether you draw them closer to your chest or you soften that knee bend. The option to slide a block underneath the knees to add a little bit of support. Breathing into any sensation that you might be feeling. Letting your breath soften those areas. Letting your body find a little bit more rest in this posture. Take one more inhale here. One more exhale. Then slowly begin to draw those knees back to center. Then gently letting your knees fall to the left side. Keeping that right shoulder blade pressed into the mat. Adjusting your knees, drawing the knees closer to your chest or softening that knee bend. Maybe you slide a block underneath the knees for a little bit of support. Sending your breath to any area where you're feeling a little bit of tension. Letting your breath soften those areas. Finding a little bit more rest in this posture. Take one more inhale here. One more exhale. And then slowly draw those knees back to center. And then opening up to happy baby, grabbing the outside of those feet, opening the knees nice and wide. Gently rocking a little bit of forward and backward. A little bit of side to side. Then draw those knees back into your chest and let them sway from the left to the right. Gently letting your knees fall to the right side or to the left side. Taking a couple breaths in fetal position, taking a nice deep inhale and a deep exhale. Take one more inhale, one more exhale. Then slowly begin to press your way up, making your way up to a seated position. And then from here, we're going to come into a half butterfly. So come into full butterfly first, so draw the soles of your feet together. And then from here, we'll straighten that right leg at about a 45-degree angle. And you can keep your foot here, or you can draw the heel in closer to your body. Trying to keep on both sit bones. Inhale, reach your hands up. Then exhale, reach and fold. Inhale, draw up your chest a little bit. And then exhale, can you walk your fingertips out a little bit further? And from here, making sure that both sit bones are on. So for me, my right sit bone tends to want to come up off the mat. So I have to consciously push it down. And you can keep a slight bend in that right knee if it's a little bit too intense on the back of that leg. Allowing those shoulders to soften. Removing tension from your neck. You can also play with the foot, so you can flex that right foot or point those toes and notice how the sensation changes in the posture. And take a deep inhale here. Exhale, can you walk your fingertips out a little bit further, challenging that edge. Keeping both sit bones pressed into the mat. You soften those shoulders a little bit more. Maybe breathing into your low spine. Take a few more breaths here. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. Very nice. Then slowly begin to walk those hands up. Releasing that left leg and drawing that right knee back to center, giving it a little bit of a shake. Then drawing the soles of your feet onto the mat and letting the knees fall to the right side. And then to the left side, windshield wipering the legs. One more time to the right. One more time to the left. Very nice. Then coming back to butterfly, just so that we can set up for the other side. And then from here, straightening that left leg at about a 45-degree angle. And again, you can draw that right heel closer into your body. Keeping both sit bones pressed into the mat, reach your hands up. Then exhale, reach and fold. Inhale, draw up your chest a little bit. Exhale, can you walk your fingertips out a little bit further? Challenging your edge. Maybe you have a slight bend in that left leg. Allowing those shoulders to soften. Removing tension from your neck. Maybe you point your toes or flex your toes. And notice how the sensation changes in the posture. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, can you walk those fingertips out a little bit further, challenging your edge. Keeping both sit bones pressed into the mat. Breathing into any sensations. Letting your body find a little bit more rest. Very nice. Take one more inhale here. One more exhale. Then slowly begin to walk those hands up. Releasing that right leg. Drawing that left leg back to center, giving it a little bit of a shake. Then drawing the soles of the feet onto the mat and windshield wiping the legs to the left. Then to the right. One more time to the left. One more time to the right, very nice. And then from here, we're gonna make our way into tabletop position. And we're gonna walk our hands out and lower all the way down onto our stomach. We're gonna come into our Sphinx pose. So placing your elbows underneath your shoulders. I'm gonna turn on the light. Sorry if that's too bright. But drawing your elbows underneath your shoulders, releasing your toes. Allow your eyes to close. Take a deep inhale through your nose. And exhale, send your breath to any sensation that you might be feeling in your low spine. Maybe your mid-spine. Trying to soften those shoulders. And taking note of any thoughts that might be rising up. Gently acknowledging them. Letting them continue to pass by. Drawing your attention back to your breath. Back to your inhales. And your exhales. And take a deep inhale here. And on the exhale, draw your chin to your chest. Take another deep inhale. Exhale, can you draw your chin closer to your chest? Take one more breath in here. One more breath out. Then on the next inhale, drawing your right ear to your right shoulder, stretching out the left side of that neck. Take another deep inhale. Exhale, can you draw your ear closer to your shoulder? Take one more inhale here. One more exhale. Then on the next inhale, coming back to center. Then exhale to the other side, taking your left ear to your left shoulder. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, can you draw your ear closer to your shoulder? Take one more inhale. One more exhale. Then on the next inhale, draw. Coming back to center. Then slowly lifting up your chin just to come back to neutral. And so your option is to stay here, or maybe you press into the palms of the hands and straighten those elbows. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, can you draw those shoulders down and away from your ears? And the option to stay here, or maybe you walk your hands up a little bit closer to your body, challenging your edge. And notice if your breath has changed, making sure that you have nice deep inhales and nice deep exhales. Again, trying to draw the shoulders down and away from your ears. Take one more inhale. One more exhale, very nice. And slowly lower down. Drawing your hands together. And then letting your forehead rest on top of your hands. And notice how your spine feels as it begins to relax. Allowing your shoulders to soften. Taking this opportunity to rest. We'll take a couple more breaths here. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. Very nice. Then begin to plant those hands underneath the shoulders, pushing up to tabletop. And then sitting back into child's pose. Bending your elbows, and maybe you draw your elbows to your knees. You can always draw your hands to your feet if that feels comfortable. But round your spine, tap your chin. And maybe if your head doesn't rest on the mat, you can always slide a block underneath, trying to relieve tension from your neck. Allowing your shoulders to soften. We'll take a few more breaths here. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. Then slowly begin to come back to your tabletop position. Planting your hands underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips, curling those toes. We're gonna send our hips up in our downward facing dog so that we can set up for dragon pose. So dragon's the pose that we're gonna do tonight, the big one. So send those knees up and press those hips back. Take a few moments to just pedal out the feet, stretching out those backs of the legs, your calves. And then find stillness for one full inhale. One full exhale. Then inhale, float that right leg high to the sky. Then step your right leg through your hands. And slowly release that left heel down onto that left knee down onto the mat. Release your toes. And you can keep your hand in line with your shoulder, your knee in line with your shoulder if that's where it feels comfortable. Or maybe you walk your foot out to the edge of the mat, and then you can always open up that knee as well. And then maybe you stay on the palm of your hand, or maybe you come down a little bit further, maybe coming onto your forearms. If you have a block, maybe you draw your forearms onto the block. But breathing into that right hip. And with every exhale, trying to allow that hip to settle a little bit more. And notice too in this posture, if you're carrying any tension anywhere, like for me, when I was just scanning my body, I could feel like my shoulders were tense. So I tried just to try to consciously soften them. Notice maybe if your fingers are gripping. Maybe notice if your breath has changed or if it's still nice and deep. And take one more inhale here. One more exhale, very nice. And slowly begin to come back onto the palms of the hands. If your knee is open, draw the sole of your feet back onto the mat. And then from here, we're gonna make our way into pigeon pose. So begin to walk that right foot over. And maybe you walk it up a little bit. And then begin to come onto that right knee, so making your way into pigeon. And then from here, walk those hands up to set the hips. And then exhale, begin to walk your hands out. Maybe coming onto the forearms to start. Or maybe you're very mobile and you can walk your hands all the way out. Allowing your chest to draw closer to the mat. Removing any tension from that left leg. Maybe you slide a block underneath your forehead to remove tension from your neck. Letting gravity draw your hip closer to the mat. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, can you walk your fingertips out a little bit further, challenging your edge. We'll take a few more breaths here. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. Very nice. And slowly begin to walk those hands up. And then shifting onto that right hip. We're not going to come into deer pose. We're going to swing our legs forward and then come into Shavasana. So laying down on our backs. Allowing your palms to face up. And notice how that right hip feels as it begins to release out of the posture. Softening your shoulders. Letting your body find rest. Take one more inhale here. One more exhale. Then slowly draw those knees into your chest, giving them a nice squeeze. Then gently letting your knees sway from the left to the right. Gently letting your knees fall over to the left side. Taking one deep inhale here. One deep exhale. Then begin to push your way up, making your way back to tabletop position. Setting up for the other side, so coming into downward facing dog, so press your knees up and then your hips back. Pedal out those feet, stretching out the back of the legs. Then finding stillness for one full inhale, one full exhale. Float that left leg high to the sky, then step your left leg through your hands. Release that right knee down onto the mat and curl those toes. And again, you can keep that left leg underneath your shoulder, or maybe you walk your left foot out a little bit. And then you can always open up that left knee. And maybe this evening you stay on the palms of your hands, or maybe you can make your way down onto your forearms. And noticing how this side feels. Is this side a little bit more comfortable? A little bit more relaxed? Maybe it's a little bit more tight, so do you need to adjust it in any way? By keeping nice deep inhales, nice deep exhales. Nice deep inhales. Nice deep exhales. And notice too, scanning over that body, notice if you're carrying any tension anywhere, maybe in your shoulders. Maybe you're gripping your fingers. Maybe your stomach might be a little bit tight, so breathing into those areas. Letting any tension dissolve. Letting your body surrender a little bit more. Take one more inhale here. One more exhale. Then slowly begin to walk the hands up, coming onto the palms of your hands. And then making your way to pigeon pose, so maybe walking that foot over to the right side of the mats. And then lowering that left knee down. Taking an inhale to set the hips. And then exhale, begin to walk those hands out. Coming into reclined pigeon. And maybe you stay on your forearms, or maybe you're a little bit more mobile tonight, so you can walk those hands out and allow that chest to draw closer to the mats. Removing any tension from that right leg. Letting your body surrender to this posture. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, can you walk your fingertips out a little bit further, challenging your edge. Allowing gravity to draw that left hip closer to the mats. Take one more inhale here. One more exhale. Very nice. Slowly begin to walk those hands up. Releasing that left hip down onto the mats. Gently swinging those legs forward. And making your way down onto your back, coming back to Shavasana. Allow your palms to face up. And allow that left hip to relax. And notice the sensations that you're feeling in this side as it begins to rest. Softening those shoulders. Letting your body find the rest. A few more breaths here. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. Then slowly begin to draw those knees into your chest. Giving them a nice big squeeze. Gently letting your knees sway from the right to the left. Gently letting your knees fall over to the right side, coming into fetal position for one full inhale. One full exhale. Slowly begin to press your way up and making your way to tabletop position. And from here, we're going to come into thread the needle. So planting that left hand onto the mat. Inhale, reach that right hand up. And then exhale, bring that right arm underneath the left, releasing that right shoulder onto the mat, your right cheek onto the mat. And you're more than welcome to stay here, or maybe you take that left hand up and draw it to that right hip, trying to open up this posture a little bit more. Breathing into that right shoulder. Allowing any sensations to soften with your breath. We'll take a few more breaths here. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. Then slowly begin to press into that left hand as you release that right shoulder, and maybe gently giving it a little bit of a shake. Then planting your right hand down onto the mat, open up that left side, reaching that left hand up. And then exhale, draw that left hand underneath the right, releasing your left shoulder onto the mat and your left cheek. And your options to stay here, maybe you take that right hand up and draw it to that left hip. Breathing in to that left shoulder. Letting your breath soften any sensations that you might be feeling. We'll take a few more breaths here. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. Then begin to press in that right hand as you release out of the posture, maybe gently giving your left arm a little bit of a shake. And then from here, kicking your feet to one side or another, coming into a seated position. Planting your feet onto the mat and lowering all the way down onto your back. And if you have a block or a cushion handy, we're going to come into supported bridge. So draw those heels as close to your glutes as possible. Take a deep inhale and a deep exhale. Then on the next inhale, send those hips up and slide the block or cushion underneath your tailbone or a little bit higher up your spine. And once you find that spot, letting those hips release into your block or into your cushion, allow your palms to face up and your eyes to close. Allow those shoulders to soften. Removing any tension from your neck. And taking time to check in with yourself. Notice if you're present or maybe your mind might have wandered. Drawing your attention back to your breath. Allowing your body to find a little bit more rest in this posture. Take one more inhale here. Exhale it all out. Then on the next inhale, slowly shift those hips up and slide that block or your cushion from underneath. Slowly lowering those hips down onto the mat. Take a full inhale. And a full exhale, letting that body settle. And then from here, we're gonna make our way into waterfall. So drawing your knees into your chest. And then if you have a block or a cushion, shift up those hips, slide that block underneath your tailbone, straighten those legs up. Allow your palms to face up. Softening those shoulders. You could always have a slight bend in the knees. Taking note of any thoughts that might be rising up. Gently acknowledging them. Letting them continue to pass by. Drawing your attention back to your breath. Back to your inhales. And your exhales. And take a few more breaths here. Take one more inhale here. One more exhale. Then slowly shift those hips up, slide that block or cushion from underneath. Then draw those knees into your chest, giving them a nice big squeeze. Gently rocking a little bit side to side. A little bit of forward and backwards. Circling your knees in one direction. Circling your knees into the opposite direction. And opening up to happy baby, grabbing the outside of those feet, opening the knees nice and wide. Gently rocking a little bit of forward and backwards. A little bit of side to side. Then take a deep inhale here. And exhale, open up to Shavasana, legs as wide as the mat. Palms to face up. Letting your body melt into the mat. Taking this opportunity to let go. Letting your body find rest. Letting your mind find peace. And taking a few moments to scan over your body. Notice if you're carrying any tension. Breathing into those areas. Letting any tension dissolve. Letting your body relax a little bit more. Resting in the stillness. Notice maybe if your mind has gotten a little bit distracted. Maybe it's wandered off. Drawing your attention back to your breath. Back to your inhales. And your exhales. Letting your body find a little bit more rest. Your mind to find a little bit more peace. As your body finds rest, letting your practice from this evening just absorb into your mind and into your body. The benefits from all the postures, let it sink deep into your muscles and into your memory. And on the next inhale, slowly begin to wiggle your fingers. Gently moving your toes. Slowly waking up your body. Drawing your attention back to the room. Then on the next inhale, slowly begin to reach those arms up and overhead. And then grabbing one wrist and gently pulling it to one side of the room, feeling the stretch in that side body. Then release that wrist, grab the other wrist, gently pull it to the opposite side of the room. Then release that wrist. Reach your hands to the very back of the room and your feet to the very front. Taking a full body stretch on that next inhale. Exhale, let it all go. Then slowly draw that right knee into your chest. Giving it a nice big squeeze. Gently adding a little bit of movement back. Then release your right leg, draw in that left knee. Giving it a nice big squeeze. Gently adding a little bit of movement back. Then draw that right knee back into your chest. Give them both a big squeeze. Gently rocking a little bit of side to side. A little bit of forward and backwards, giving your spine a little bit of a massage. Circling your knees in one direction. Circle your knees in the opposite direction. Then let your knees sway from the left to the right. Gently letting your knees fall to the right side or to the left side, coming into fetal position. And offering breaths of gratitude. Grateful that you showed up on your mats. That you took time to sit in these postures, to connect with your body and your breath. Take a deep inhale and a deep exhale. Then on the next inhale, slowly begin to press your way up to a seated position. Keeping your eyes closed and drawing your hands to heart center. Take a deep inhale together and a deep exhale. On the next inhale, draw a gentle smile to your face. Exhale it all out. Take a few moments to thank your body for all the hard work it did this evening. I thank you and I'm humbled by your practice. Namaste. Great job, everybody. Sorry for the loud lights.
It's all good.
I have to figure out something a little bit more calm for next week.
That was good.
That was good, Mark.
Yeah.
Great.
Good.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
Bye.
See you, Davina.
Bye. Did you turn
Bye,
it-
Amin.
Oh, yes. Bye. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Where's Josh?
I don't know. Where he went? I have no idea.
Josh, are you awake?
That's weird.
I guess we lost them.
Yeah, I don't know. How was Dragon for you tonight?
Our
It's a challenge. And so tonight I just, as you always say, honored my body and I didn't push it. I just left it where it was. And
Yeah.
actually I think that was the right thing to do. It's a tough move. I don't have flexibility in the hips at all, Mark. So it's a good move to really work on. Yeah. But the minute you said dragon, we both went, ugh.
I know. But I was like, there was the one pose that was going to be the hard one for the day. So I was like, we'll compound that one with a nice pigeon. So at least then we can relax a little bit in pigeon. So
It's good because it works everything that needs to be worked, right? I'm always amazed at how flexible we can be in one area and how totally inflexible. Like a forward fold for me, Mark, is an insult. I can't do it.
yeah.
I have absolutely no movement that way. And it's the same with my hips. You find the same thing though.
Oh yeah, but I got too much of a belly there to get things.
But when you say, let's do deer pose and let's do the saddle, I can totally go the other way. So
Yeah.
I don't know why that is, but
Keep working on those things, eh?
It could be your hamstrings too. So it could be your hamstrings are tight.
yeah, we felt that beautiful stretch at the beginning when we did the half butterfly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
Stretching the hand.
So I think you're right. I think there's definitely some tension there for sure.
Yeah. And sometimes too, if you're feeling it, like if it's a little bit too intense, always like try to maybe bend the knees, like maybe slide a cushion underneath, and you'll be able to fold a little bit more sometimes forward.
Yeah, and you know what else I've started doing, Mark, is I need to put the block when we're sitting down and doing a forward fold. I sit on the block.
Yeah.
Because for some reason that seems to help me as well. But what would be an amazing outcome is if I could finally put my forehead to my knees, but I am nowhere near that.
No one.
Like I see people in dance when Julia used to dance, right? You'd see all these ballet dancers and these beautiful dancers just kind of go, oh yes. And I would love to do that.
But
Like,
how are you with your standing forward fold though? Like what if you stand though and do your forward fold? Is it different?
I don't know.
Like you feel it a little bit differently?
Now, do your feet have to be together or apart?
No, they could be apart. You can have them hip distance apart. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't have it. It's in that back. I can't say that it's. I mean, if I bend my knees.
Our hinges aren't what they used to be, Mark.
Yeah.
I suppose it's better that way, but I think you're right, Mark, about the bending of the knees.
Mm-hmm. So take the time, and then I would just say, like, if you're in the forward fold, like even if you're sitting down, but like bend the knees, and then what you can even do is like wrap your hands like around, and slowly begin to try to keep your chest here, but like try to straighten coming from your hamstrings.
See, so like right now, my chest is on my thighs.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is slowly but surely try to straighten. Oh yeah, I feel that.
Probably in your hamstrings, which is
Yes.
yeah, and you probably will feel it too in a little bit of your mid-low back too, like where it's tight. So
Okay.
yeah, so
Really good, actually, Mark.
the hamstrings are like not the smartest muscles either. They take a lot to, like, they don't remember a lot. Like it takes them a long time to remember.
But I think you're right. I think that might be.
We'll have to practice that one.
So
Yeah.
George saw me do dragon today, and he says, "What the heck are you doing with your hands?" I can do. My hands are complete. I can turn them around completely. You probably could do that too. I bet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how I did dragon, and he's looking at me going, "I can't even think about doing something like that."
You look like a dragon.
Yeah. But that's good though for your wrists, right? It's really,
Yeah.
that's really good to stretch out your wrists and your like mobility in them.
Exactly.
So yeah.
So that was fun. Anyway.
Great. Well, have a great evening. I don't know where Josh went. He just disappeared.
Doesn't like us anymore.
Went to bed.
We
Yeah.
hope to see you Saturday. We'll see you though.
Yeah, and if not, then you'll get it recording. So
Oh yes, we'll do it one way or the other for sure.
Yeah.
Have a good night, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
well, see you guys later.
Take care. Bye.